Oh my gosh. I haven't actually used a Windows laptop since, I think it's officially 1 year now that I've used a Windows laptop. But today I actually have two big boxes right here, guys. Two big boxes from ASUS. And today I'm actually gonna test out their Pro Art lineup. You know what I'm saying? They have the Pro Art 13 and the Pro Art 16, which is this big body right here. This is absolutely crazy. So I'm excited because these two laptops have crazy performance, and it doesn't matter because even in the smaller one you could still have the same performance because of the chipset that's inside. It's literally just basically the same thing that's in the 16-inch version as well. So if you want a big laptop, get the big laptop. If you want a smaller one, get the smaller one, because with the HX370 processors that are in this laptop right now, guys, they made it so good that these new chips are that efficient. The first one we're gonna look at is this right here, the smaller version. And the box is even nice. It looks so like luxurious. I don't know how to explain it, but good job with the box. This is sick. Alright, so I just got the laptop here, got everything set up, and straight out the boxes, it looks good. It's super lightweight, and it surprised me because I know it was a pro artist meant for creativity and everything, but I did not expect it to perform tricks like this. Boom, you know what I'm saying? So it's a full, basically 2-in-1 laptop, so I could fold it all the way like this, and then I could start creating my art to make things better. You get the Asus Pen. Alright, so this is the Asus Pen 2.0, and it comes with pressure sensitivity and everything. So for all my digital art creators out there, this is gonna come in clutch because you could use the pen to create sketches, create your designs, or even just to navigate throughout the OS off Windows. And no, I did not forget, guys, this is the 16-inch version. It's basically the same unboxing experience as the 13-inch version. They even come with the same AC power adapter with the same wattage and stuff like that. So I didn't want to waste y'all time, man, but I'm still gonna show you what we get inside this box right here. So here it is. This is the 16-inch version, and we're gonna compare them side by side right now. A lot of people just love having that bigger display, and I get it, especially when you're like editing on the go. You want to have like a bigger screen real estate, so you'd go for the 16-inch version. But I was trying to go for the smaller size displays or smaller laptops because I'm all about portability, so that's the biggest form factor for me when it comes to choosing a laptop. But this is the 16-inch, and off the bat I could just see how nice the feel is. So premium, y'all. And look at these huge speakers right here. We have to test those, but man, this 16-inch version is looking pretty nice.
Good spend my money for this laptop.
Alright guys, so it's been a couple days since I've been using both these laptops, and I think I finally found, you know, my sweet spot, like the one that I think really suits my workflow the most. And you've guessed it, it's the bigger version, the P16. So right over here is the Asus P16, and on this side, the smaller version, is the Asus PX13. Now, the reason why I decided to go for the P16 is because I'm always like the smaller form factor guy, and I feel like just over the years, I've just reached that point where I feel like, yo, I need a bigger display in order to edit better, to see more, and that's where this comes in. Now, one thing I miss beyond battery life and the screen size of this thing is just the versatility of the PX13. You know what I'm saying? Remember, this thing literally folds up to 360 degrees. So now, the possibilities are endless, you know what I'm saying? You have different modes that you could use the laptop, and if you like to draw or sketch, remember you have the Asus Pen 2.0 right here, Asus Stylus 2.0, and we're gonna show you the different modes that you could use. First, we have the standard mode, which is the laptop mode. This is where you'd catch me at majority of the time, but I could get fancy with it, you know what I'm saying? So now we have the tent mode. So a lot of people might use the tent mode, because it's just a different angle that I could go ahead and sketch from. right here. You know what I'm saying? I was just look at that beautiful artwork that I was doing right there. So you could sketch from this angle, or if you're showing someone something, for example, you're showing them a YouTube video, you could just spin it around, let them see whatever you're showing them on the screen. It's a good way to like project whatever you're showing. You also have that stand mode. So the stand mode is basically like this. Now we're in stand mode. Again, another angle for you to sketch, draw. You could rotate the screen. The hinge is actually very sturdy, which I'm really surprised about. So even when you're drawing right here, you have a good angle. And then the last mode is that tablet mode. So this mode is where it's in tablet form. You use your laptop like a tablet. You know, not a lot of people could say that. And the good thing about this is that even though it's in that tablet form, whenever you press the keys on the back, nothing happens on the screen. So the laptop is smart enough to know that, hey, deactivate the trackpad and the keyboard whenever you're in stand and also tablet mode. So yeah, to me, that's pretty cool that a laptop could do that. It just adds that much more effect to the portability factor of it. But on the other side, I just really liked using the P16 whenever I'm just at home, chilling on the couch, or just by the desk, or just whenever I find myself situated, because the form factor is just really nice. It sits well on my lap, as you could tell, and also that 16-inch screen is just gorgeous. It's just a perfect place to sit, relax, and just get work done. Now, don't get me wrong. Yes, I use the P16 more when I'm at home, but it's still a very portable laptop. And at 16 inches, with this much power, it only weighs around 4 pounds. The build quality is also amazing here. The same goes for the smaller PX13. Both laptops are an all aluminum textured chassis in nano black, and it looks amazing. I always get compliments using this, and I posted this on my IG story not too long ago, and everyone just kept asking what laptop is that, just because of how good it looks. Now, including the outer shell and the keyboard, the P16 is just undoubtedly built to a high standard. The coating of the body is claimed to resist smudges and fingerprints, and I've been using this for up to a week now, and it still just looks great. But it does indeed pick up some slight fingerprints and smudges if you have dirty or oily fingers, so just clean them fingers, bro. Now, when it comes to editing on the go, the port selection is really important to me, alright? I need at least 2 USB-C ports on a laptop for me to just function properly, and the PX13 and the P16 has just that and more. On the left-hand side of the PX13, there's one proprietary DC in for charging, HDMI port, USB-C Gen 3 with speeds up to 40 gigabytes per second. There's an audio jack port, and on the right side, we have another USB-C Gen 3 port. We also have a single USB 3.2 Gen 2 port and a micro SD card slot, and also that power button. Now for the P16, we basically have the same IO port selections. However, the P16 has an extra USB-A port, and instead of the micro SD card slot, we have a full SD card slot. And as a content creator, I definitely like this more. I just find myself using the regular SD card slot way more than the micro SD card slot. Probably I'll never ever use that micro SD card slot, to be honest. Now, the typing experience on both these laptops was second nature. It's very easy to adapt to since both keyboards have a full keyboard layout. The keys are just very tactile and responsive. I do like the fact that the P16 has a larger trackpad though, and whenever I'm using the Asus dial pad, there's just more room to work with, but both these trackpads are very smooth and easy to navigate through the OS. I also just love the innovation from Asus here with the Asus dial pad. By just swiping diagonally, you can enable the dial pad, and now we could just quickly do things like control the system volume or brightness, or even scrub through a YouTube timeline. But how I really like to use this is on apps like Lightroom or Photoshop. I can easily control the size of the brushes right at my fingertips. It can also be customized in the Asus dial and control panel, so you could get super creative with this. Speakers on both these laptops sound great, but because of that bigger chassis on the P16, it does pack more of a punch thanks to the 6 speakers inside. And for the PX13, since it's a smaller form factor, Asus managed to squeeze in 2 speakers, and this is what they sound like. So as you could probably tell already, and I've mentioned before, both these displays are gorgeous. The P16 has a stunning 4K OLED display that's 3840, by 2400 and it's running at 60 Hz. And the PX13 has a 3K OLED display also running at 60 Hz. Now right out the box, it's just super sharp. It delivers those vibrant OLED colors and deep blacks. While it's 60 Hz, it's decent, you know what I'm saying? More mainstream displays are pushing like 120 Hz these days, but don't let that fool you. These screens are a dream for content creation. They both shine at 500 nits of peak brightness, which is perfect for majority of situations you'll be in. And whenever I'm using them outdoors, I had no issues seeing my display under direct sunlight. Yeah, I know, guys. I'm Picasso. I don't know what to tell you, man. Work of art. Look, like, you can't even tell the difference. Split an image. Now, performance. This is major when it comes to laptops. My usual test is just to see if it can handle my 422 10-bit files on Adobe Premiere Pro. And yes, both the PX13 and P16 passed those tests with flying colors. The PX13 is decked out with 1TB of storage, SSD of course, the NVIDIA GeForce RTX 4050 GPU, 24 gigs of RAM, and the AMD Ryzen AI 9 365 CPU. On the other side, the P16 is running a RTX 4070 GPU, 2TB of NVMe storage, SSD of course, 64 gigs of RAM, and the AMD Ryzen AI 9 HX 370 CPU. Now, that was a lot to take in, but in real world usage, these both handle everything I threw at it without any issues. For some perspective, I ran a Cinebench mark on both laptops and got a multi-core score of 15,848 points and a single core score of 1,936 points on the PX13. For the P16, I got a multi-core score of 21,109 points and a single core score of 1,959 points, which is to be expected because in everyday uses, just browsing the web, opening files, or just launching apps, they both perform the same, or even when I'm just editing on the timeline, they both run smoothly. Alright, so this is my 422 10-bit timeline right here on Adobe Premiere Pro. So as you can see, I'm rocking the P16 right now, and we're playing at around like half playback. So this is how it runs when I'm just chilling. It's plugged into the power, and as you can see, it plays smoothly. There's no issue playing this on the timeline. It runs perfectly fine, which is just amazing. Also, bear in mind with this timeline, I have 2 different color correction layers on top, and as you can see, there's no hiccups. But let's try to change it to full. So now we're on full preview. As you can see, hit the play button, and it's still working. So that's literally playing full 4K preview on the timeline, 422 10-bit color correction, everything with literally no hiccups, no bugs. Good to see. Now as for the smaller version, the PX13, as you can see, we got Premiere Pro open right here, and the same 422 10-bit timeline. Everything shot on my Sony a7S III. We're running it at half preview right now, color graded, everything on top. As you can see, the 2 adjustment layers up here. And if we play back, trying to figure this out. Okay. You can see it runs pretty smoothly. This is the gear shifter right here. Look, the screen is large. And let's go to full preview. Boom. Enable full preview. Playback. But I'm gonna dive into all of this in more detail. Still no issues. The only thing I would say so far with the PX13 on the timeline, the fans just kicking way faster compared to the bigger version, which is to be expected. It's a larger model, so the thermals are better. But overall, pretty similar experience just scrolling through the timeline. But here's when things start to pull a little bit apart, when I start to encode. So I did an export of my YouTube vlog on the P16, which is a 6-minute, 14-second video, and it only took 4 minutes and 3 seconds to export that said video, which is pretty impressive. I did export it at a 4K resolution, and I'm not gonna lie, the fan noise wasn't even as loud as most laptops with this power. For example, this is how it sounded under load. And this is how it sounded when it was idle. So yeah, pretty respectable, especially when you're out and about and you don't want your laptop sounding like a plane taking off the runway. Now on the other side, my Pocket Rocket, the PX13, managed to perform well in my export test as well. So it's the same 6-minute 14-second video. It took 4 minutes and 42 seconds to export, just only 36 seconds slower than the P16. And to be honest, that is not bad. I must admit though, the PX13 did have a little more fan noise, and maybe that's just because it's smaller. It only has 2 fans, while the P16 has 3 fans to help with cooling and thermals. They both have a really good thermal setup, but just so you guys know, the PX13 is just a tad bit louder when it comes on to fans under load. This is what it sounded like when it's working on the load. And this is what the PX13 sounds like when it's idle. Hi, if you're wondering, this is what the webcam quality looks like. I'm speaking directly into the microphone. I do have some light coming in right here, but if you're supposed to hop on a Zoom call or catch up with family or whatever, take some pics, this is what I could expect from the big brother, the Asus ProArt P16. Let me know what you think down below in the comments. And this is what the quality looks like on the smaller PX13. So mic quality, I'm just talking directly into the mic. Little light coming in, just like the other demonstration we just did. Let me know what you guys think. Which one looks better? Is it acceptable? Let me know down below in the comments. Now, so the question I always get is, Shevon, I'm into content creation. What laptop should I get? Where do I start? And honestly, look no further. It's either between the Asus PX13 or the P16. These are probably the best Windows laptops you could get into for content creation. The PX13 is really good. If you're someone who you're aiming for portability, you love arts and design, you want to sketch your own stuff, you need something that's very flexible, all the different modes that this laptop has to offer, this is the way to go. If you're looking for something with a bigger screen, you know, you find yourself editing a lot from home on the go and you need that power, get the 16-inch. And the thing is, when it comes to battery life, there's not much of a difference between the two as well. So you don't really have to judge based on battery life. It's all just, you want more portability and flexibility, get the PX13. You want to have a bigger screen, more screen real estate, and something maybe with better speakers, you want to go for the P16. It's that simple. So hopefully this video was helpful for you guys as a guide in order which one you should get, but just know both these laptops are gonna be perfect for content creation. Don't forget that full slot SD card slot that this one have as well. So if that's something that you want to make sure that you have on your laptop, this is the way to go. But enough talking. Hopefully this video is helpful for you guys. All links will be down below in the description to pick these laptops up. And thank you again, Asus, for making this video possible. Catch you guys in the next one. Love, peace, and tweaks. Signing out.